G'day everyone, Wesley here from the Mental Awareness Foundation, and I am coming to you with another Under the Radar series. And you may be asking, what is Under the Radar? Well, Under the Radar is an initiative by the Mental Awareness Foundation to, I guess, take the time to interview people that are flying under the radar, that are doing amazing work in bringing awareness towards mental health. And today I feel so privileged. I'm actually getting shivers while we speak because I feel so stoked to be able to take the time out to interview two amazing people that have an amazing story, that have just finished an amazing event such as the Olympics, but are also ambassadors and believe that talking about mental health is all about breaking that taboo, but also speaking up encourages others to either take that step forward and to seek help, or perhaps ask a friend, are they okay? So today I've also, would you believe, it's a first and an exclusive, I've got my assistant, the beautiful Courtney. Those that don't know, Courtney is actually part of the backbone that is the Mental Awareness Foundation. She does a lot of our PR work and marketing and just generally everything connection with ambassadors. And I must say, she herself is a massive, massive ambassador for MAF. So Courtney, welcome.
Thank you so much, Wes. It's lovely to be here.
Now, we have two amazing guests.
We definitely do. I have to say, two of my favourite people. And yeah, very excited to be joined by all of you today. So great to be here, Wes.
Now, the great thing is that not only did they participate in the Paralympics, but they're also medalists. So we'll let our two guests sort of tell them about it. Now, I think, just being a gentleman, ladies first, Grant. So, Lucky, do you want to just give us a little bit about you and you know, your journey and now actually just quickly, I can confirm we are 1.5 meters away from each other, aren't we?
Yes.
I think we're a bit further than 1.5.
Yeah, I think we're a little bit further. And now these guys and girls are in quarantine, actually you're in quarantine as well.
We're actually all in the same hotel in Sydney after the Paralympics in hotel quarantine. So it's quite an exceptional experience, really.
Yeah, no.
But we haven't been able to meet in each other's rooms. We're on different floors, but we are in the same building.
Yeah, so we're playing it safe. So if you're watching this, and we thought we had enough time to do this interview, because in quarantine, I think that's one thing that you do have is time. So, but back to the question, Lucky, please, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, hey guys. My name's Lakeisha Patterson, but most people know me as my nickname Lucky. I'm an Australian Paralympic swimmer, competed at 2 Paralympic Games now and have been competing for our country since 2014. I'm a multiple Paralympic medalist, gold medalist and world record holder. But I guess outside of the pool, I'm just your average 22-year-old. I study communication and digital media at university. I love food. I love napping. I love sleep and, hanging out with my friends and family. I'm also incredibly blessed to be an ambassador for a number of organisations and have been involved with MAFS for quite a few years now. So it's really exciting to be able to be involved here today and spread some more awareness, because I think, mental health is such an important topic, and especially the past couple of years, it's so much more prevalent now, the importance of it and the need to check in on people. So also coming from my own experiences with, mental health challenges and seeing how that affects my closest friends and family as well, is definitely very important for me to be able to speak up here today. So thanks for having me.
Well, thank you, and thank you for being so humble. But just to tell our audience, how did you go in Japan in the most recent of Olympics? Please, in your humbleness way, could you tell us how you went?
Yeah, so just recently from Tokyo, I came away with this.
Now, is that gold?
That is gold in the 400 meters freestyle.
Do the bite test.
Yeah, I think she's real.
That's awesome.
So good,
Just
Lucky.
quickly, what was the event that you won gold in?
Swimming, 400 meters freestyle S9.
Awesome. Thank you. Now, Sir Grant, my friend, mate, thank you. And thank you for joining us. You're actually one of our newest ambassadors, so I truly appreciate it, mate, because the more awareness we can get out there, the better. But, mate, please tell us a little bit about yourself and where you sit as today.
Thank you for having me. My name is Grant Patterson, also known as Scooter, hence the little trike I get around on. I've been swimming now since, been around for ages. I'm nearly a fossil. Since 2010. I went to London Paralympics, missed out on Rio, and then come back for another piece of the pie for Tokyo. What do I do outside of life? I work full time. I've got a house, a big shed full of toys. I like quad biking and fishing. I've also got 2 dogs, so I like taking them for a run in the cane fields on the weekends. And no, it's awesome to be a part of this group. Like you said, mental health. It's good to support that and help people out there and inspire people, and to let them know that it's okay, to talk to someone about it. We're here for you. And yeah, it's cool to be a part of.
Yeah, nice. And mate, and how did you go at Tokyo?
I won a bronze medal in my 150 IM individual medley, and then I won a silver medal in my 50-meter breaststroke.
Well done, brother. Well done. And well done to both of you.
Wes, I might just jump in. I've just got a question. If both Lucky and Scooter can just tell us, just for people who don't really understand what class that they compete in, I guess, at the top of the para sport stage. Just break that down a little bit for our audience. That'd be really great. Lucky, let's start with you again.
Yep, so I'm an S9, meaning that I compete in the physical category. And so in terms of Paralympic swimming, a 1 to a 10 is a physical disability, 10 being, I guess, the most minimal in terms of Paralympic classification. So I compete as an S9 due to my cerebral palsy affecting the left side of my body. So I could be competing against a lot of different people with varying challenges or impairments. So a lot of amputees are particularly in this class, or other people with cerebral palsy as well.
Awesome.
Over to Scooter.
Myself, I'm an S3 in freestyle and backstroke, and then with breaststroke, I'm an SB2. So I'm down the lower end of the spectrum, so less functional. Obviously, I'm a dwarf, but a dwarf that can't walk, and I've got a limited range of movement. So I might have people in my class that might only have 1 leg or 1 arm, or maybe half of 2 arms or something like that. And then also there's people in there with, muscular problems or cerebral palsy, and it affects their range of movement and obviously their muscle volume.
Yeah, awesome. Now, actually, and thank you for sharing that. I guess, we are talking all things mental health, and the thing with mental health is it doesn't discriminate. So it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what you do, it can affect us all. And I just want to, sort of probably take you back to the early days. And I'm just assuming, but when you were growing up, sort of having this form of disability would have been tough to sort of take on board. Are you happy to sort of take us back when you sort of realised these challenges for you? Is there anything that stands out back then, and how did you cope with it sort of as you were growing up? That's all. Lucky, could we start with you?
Yeah, definitely. I think, like you said, mental health doesn't discriminate whether you have a disability or not. And I think for myself, kind of growing up with a disability as I was younger, I didn't really see myself as different in terms of, my sisters being the middle child and growing up with 2 girls. And it was hard coming from a really tough background of domestic violence towards my mum. She'd also conquered cancer and raised us three girls on our own. So she gave us literally every opportunity possible to make sure that we were able to achieve our goals and dreams. And she really made sure that I wasn't treated any differently. So I got involved with sports, tried to do everything that my sisters did, and quickly realized land sports weren't for me, which is how I got into swimming. But also I think, kind of growing up in a very small community, as I kind of got older, I really did see the difference between myself and my peers. Having, cerebral palsy down the left side of my body, as well as epilepsy and micrographia, it's quite a list of things to deal with. So days can definitely be challenging. And some people may see me and think I'm completely fine. Other days may see me, it's a lot harder to deal with. And it can be hard to kind of growing up as a teenage girl to figure out your place in the world. And then, if you're perceived as different, you get treated differently too, unfortunately, sometimes. So I think for me, particularly in high school, it was really tough to kind of, figure out where I was. And I think that's the beauty of swimming coming into my life, and Paralympic swimming. I was able to meet such incredible people who also overcome these challenges and other things in their life. And that's what I love, and something I've learned over the years in Paralympic swimming and the opportunities it's given me to meet other people with a disability or not outside of these circumstances is everyone has a story. And that's what I love. And once we're able to actually listen and engage with people, you realize that, we are all different, but we all face the same challenges, and we don't have to face those challenges on our own. And even throughout my professional career, sometimes I've struggled to find, balance with my identity as Lucky the athlete, Lucky the girl with the disability, and like, who am I without these two connotations towards me? But fortunately, with having such incredible support around me, I've been able to distinguish these identities and realize that I am more than the barriers placed before me, and more than just my swimming success. I can be a complete individual outside of that, and no matter what, and no matter what's happening, I'm still worth it. And I think that's a really important message to spread to other people.
Yeah, really well said. What about
Sorry,
you, Grant?
I can't remember what your question was.
Listen, I think it was absolutely beautiful, because you touched on a lot of things that no matter who we are, like, we are worthy, right? And that, yes, these, I guess you had this disability, but at the end of the day, we're all the same. We are all the same. We all desire love and care, and we've all been through situations of ups and downs, and trust me, if you get to know my family, we have dramas just as much as every other family. So it is all normal. That's all. And I just love how you put everything. So yeah, well done. And did you want to add anything to that, Courtney?
No, there's a few things that I can touch on later, but I think what would be nice, we go into Scooter's sort of question, is how these two actually know each other. And there's been, I think, a long history of friendship here. So it'd be great to sort of know how these two first connected, and what the bond is between Lucky and Scooter.
Yeah, so perhaps, Grant, you can tie it in. Give us a little bit of a spiel about growing up, and then how you met to how lucky you were to meet Lucky.
You want me to answer that, or you want my wife to? You want me to talk about me growing up first?
Yeah, how was that for you? Because obviously I'm just, obviously it would have been testing at times, and how you dealt with it, because the thing is that now you guys are clearly very, very strong characters, and that would have come from your upbringing, and it's made you who you are today.
All right, so a big thanks goes to my special two parents that raised me. from a young age, they got me out into life and they wanted me to try everything that come my way. So a big thanks to them because they're the people that made me independent today.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, growing up through school, primary school, high school, there's always going to be those people out there that, you know, want to pick on you, mainly because they probably got picked on at home. So, you know, someone like me, you know, in an electric wheelchair or something like that, that looks helpless, it's easy to pick on.
Yeah.
But that's where my parents taught me not to worry about what people say. You know, that saying, sticks and stones may hurt your bones, but words will never hurt you. I carry that saying throughout my whole life. As you've heard me talk about, you know, I say midget and short people. Everyone's the same to me.
Yeah.
If you're going to pick on someone, well, obviously that other person's not going to be a friend. But, you know, life's too short not to be serious all the time, you know. You need to have a joke. But in growing up, primary school and high school, you know, you have the occasional bully. But I push through that. I always come up with some witty word or do something back to them. And then when I left high school, that's when I decided to get back into swimming.
Yeah.
And swimming, I think swimming is probably, I say my life sounds a bit exaggerated, but it's done me wonders because with my dwarfism called diastrophic dysplasia, it's a rare form of dwarfism, and it leaves me with a lack of cartilage and curvature on the spine.
Yeah.
And swimming has just done me wonders. You know, it's pretty much like medical therapy for me. But then also, obviously in 2007, I found out that I could be competitive as well. So I pursued the career of becoming a Paralympic swimmer. But with Lucky, yeah, I think I met her in 2014 and we just hit it off from there. It was romance at first sight. I actually proposed to her at the camp before we went to Tokyo. We had a little photo. I had a photo of my, literally, we had these rings and crap. And so, yeah, we are wife and husband.
I didn't see any of this. None of this engagement was received by the public.
I think it's on my phone. We're yet to release it. We wanted to do our competition first. You know, focus on the process. Honeymoon later.
That's it.
No doubt.
Wes, honestly, like I have to jump in here.
Yes.
These two people, friends, and para athletes are probably two of the strongest people I've ever met. I first actually met Scooter in Cairns. I don't know if he remembers this, but it was 2015. Is that right?
Yeah.
So he was doing Ironman 70.3 Cairns. So that is a 1.9 kilometer swim, a 90K cycle, just followed by a half marathon to wrap it up. And when I first met Scooter, I was just drawn to the energy of such a little person, but has the most biggest and greatest personality. And, you know, both Lucky and Scooter, they, you know, what they've achieved in their sort of careers and their lives is more than any sort of able-bodied could ever dream of. I met Lucky quite closely through the Gold Coast 2018 Commonwealth Games. And, you know, she's such a yes person. You know, every opportunity that comes her way, she'll say yes. And despite what's going on in her own sort of life or the challenges that she's sort of having to be faced with, she never seems to let that on. She always had such a beautiful smile. And to see both of them compete on a Paralympic stage, I mean, goosebumps. If there was a bigger word than goosebumps, that's it. Like, I was so proud to see both of them in Tokyo, and I get teary thinking about it because, they're two of the most beautiful people, but they are so deserving to be on that world stage. So thank you both so much for both, you know, being involved in the Mental Awareness Foundation, but just sharing your stories as well. They're super deserving of being here. And they've achieved so much. And one thing I will say, Wes, is last year I had a really good chat with Lucky after our walk for awareness.
Yes.
And it would be nice for Lucky to take us through this, but for Lucky to actually it was 8 kilometers last year, the 8 kilometer walk for awareness, and she's now done a few years in a row with her family, is actually a great challenge in itself. So a physical and a mental challenge. So I'd love Lucky to kind of take us through that. And again, you know, the reason why she just, you know, she decides every year to come back, regardless of how exhausted she is after a Paralympic campaign or working after a world championship. She always does front up and support the Mental Awareness Foundation. So Lucky, thank you. But if you could take us through just, you know, how challenging it is to kind of do the walk for awareness mentally and physically for you.
Yeah, exactly. So for myself, having cerebral palsy affecting the left side of my body, it means that kind of walking for me is really challenging. A lot of people will have, you know, your goals on your Fitbit or your Garmin or your smartwatch of trying to hit your 10,000 steps a day, but I'm the complete opposite. I try and minimize my steps because it's so taxing for me. Just kind of with my gait, I kind of walk lopsided. So if you're ever looking at me on the street, you probably think I've had a few too many drinks, but that's just me every day. You taught me well. No, so like it really impacts on my hip and is really painful. And so walking 8K or really far distances is really challenging. And then you add in, you know, the hills, the slopes, the beautiful view around Kangaroo Point, but it is really challenging. And so I'm kind of in physical pain, and the longer that goes, it really hurts mentally as well. But for myself, it's really important that I, just do things that challenge myself. And every year so far, I've been able to do it with my family. And for me, it's just one small thing that I can give up or push through in order to show people that this is such an important cause. And it doesn't matter what you're facing, you can still go through it. Like, I have challenges walking, but I can scoot. He gets around on his scooter. Like, he just find another way. And I think that's what it's all about. And I've been pretty excited to be able to be a part of it. And last year, I think importantly was really tough. My mum wasn't able to be there that year. She was actually in Victoria looking after my nan, who unfortunately passed away. And then 2 weeks later, after the walk for awareness, I had an epileptic seizure, and you know, that knocked my mobility again for 6. Kind of relearnt to walk and stuff again for a little bit. Couldn't drive for 6 months. Kind of relied on my friends and my family to kind of help push me through. But I'm glad that I've had those experiences and so many people around me. And back bigger and better this year.
And thank you for sharing. And I just want to reiterate why I sort of wanted to talk about, I guess, you know, your passing when you were brought up, because what I'm hearing here, and probably you can hear this too, Courts, is the challenges that these two amazing people have had in their past, they're actually using it as strength, right? And that strength comes through by just going, you know what, this is who I am. I get, you know, I've got my challenges, but I'm not going to let it hold me back. And that's why I wanted to go back into the past, because I can clearly see that these challenges are now your strengths, and they've gotten to where you are today, and you've channeled that energy to say, hey, I can do this. And even with last year, Lucky, thank you for sharing. I wasn't aware of what happened after. You know, you're not letting that hold you back. And I think it's just really powerful, because there are people out there that, you know, they do have their challenges or their struggles, but they need to know that, you know, don't let it hold you back, that you can overcome these struggles, that you can actually move forward, or, you know, still do great things no matter what that looks like. Yes, it might not be in the swimming pool, but you can still make a difference. And that's why sharing these stories are really, really important. Hey, Grant, I've got a question for you, mate. Like, why is mental health important to you, mate?
Well, I think it's good. Myself, I've never struggled, but I think it's important to let the people know out there that are struggling, but it's okay. And if you do have something wrong that you know, you're afraid to talk to a professional about that, you know, you should reach out to your close friend or someone like that. Me personally, I actually had a neighbour over the road from me. I probably shouldn't talk about this, but she was struggling big time, and she'd often come over and talk to me about issues, you know, like after a big week of work and training. And I found, like, obviously I'm a nice person, I'm willing to sit there and listen, but it helped get the stuff off her chest, which was good for her, I guess. But for me, I'm just happy to help people. With my job in doing what I'm doing with swimming, I hope to get that platform to inspire people, to let them know that they can do whatever they choose to in life, and to let them know that if they want to do something, well, they have to get up off their bum and work towards it. It doesn't happen overnight. Like, look at Lucky. She's been swimming since 2014. I've been around since 2007. I've been around for probably 4 Paralympics, but I've only made 2. And that silver and bronze I won last week, whenever it was, it's taken me 13 years. But that 13 years of hard work, that's what those medals went to. Not so much that night, but, you know, all those years of hard work. And, you know, it just goes to show that you put your mind to something, anything's achievable. And that's what I want to try and transfer onto other people, to help make them happy, I guess, and inspire them to do whatever they're pursuing in their life.
It's called giving back, mate, and that's what you're doing. You're giving back to your community, and it's a beautiful thing, mate. So don't stop. So, Lucky, why is mental health important to you?
Yeah, a lot about the same again about like what Scoot just said, and I think mental health is so important because, you know, we live in our bodies 24/7. It's the only one we've got. And same with our mind. I have a saying that I think people have probably heard before, but like, your body achieves what your mind believes. And I find that particularly in swimming, if you're telling yourself negative thoughts or you're sore or whatever, then your body feels sore and you don't swim as well, et cetera, et cetera. And it's the same in your everyday life. And we're all facing challenges every single day, no matter what it is. And as soon as you kind of like provide yourself with negativity, it's hard to see throughout the other side. And, you know, I think it's just important to let people know that, yeah, we're not alone and we are stronger than our strongest excuse. And there's always going to be another way around the situation. And it is hard. Some people might think, you know, there's no way out. And I don't know how they're feeling in that situation. I know people have definitely felt like that, but I just want people to know that if they're willing to open up to other people, just your closest friend or whatever, they can help you through those situations and let you know that it's going to be okay. There might not be a solution overnight, but I'm sure there's plenty of people around you that are willing to find another solution. And that's kind of the way I've been brought up, to just be resilient and just get creative, find another solution. Lots of people are in that same situation. I know with Scooter as well, like, okay, this is the problem, how can I solve that? And like he said earlier, being kind of able to be where we're at now and in life and have this platform to show other people that anything's achievable is really special. But also just let people know that, you know, you don't have to be a superstar athlete or a celebrity or anyone special to achieve amazing things or to have a platform to speak out. Like, you can be anybody to help create awareness. And that's what I love about these events. Like, you hear all these different people from all different backgrounds around some cause to help create change. And I think that's so special and really humbling to be a part of.
Yeah, and you touched on something really powerful there, is actually speaking up and talking to someone that you feel safe with. And that's something that we encourage here, because strength comes from within, right? 2 things: strength to actually step forward and perhaps ask for help, or strength into seeing if your friend needs help. And well done. That's really important. Hey, Courtney, I've got to ask you, why is mental health important to you?
Mental health, it's important for me for so many reasons. I think through all aspects of life. I think something that resonates with me is it doesn't matter who you talk to, it's something that people can just speak to really comfortably and really openly. I don't know what Scooter's doing down there. He's, but yeah, I'm super passionate about it. I'm passionate about making sure that my mental health is okay, because I know that when I'm in a really good place physically and mentally, I'm a much better person for those around me. So yeah, I work with a lot of different people from all aspects, all different realms, and I think mental health it's just so interesting how important mental health plays in all roles of life. So very passionate about it. And I've actually got a couple of questions I want to ask these two, Wes, because I think it's quite unique. We've touched on some pretty broad topics, but I think we've spoken about it a lot. Obviously, we're in a pandemic, but last year brought so many challenges to everyone around the table today, but especially to, the Paralympic landscape. I mean, we had a Games that was postponed by a year. We, as athletes, you couldn't compete on the world stage. We missed, many international meets. How did you both I've spoken to a lot of athletes, a lot of para athletes about this, and everyone has a different answer, but how did you actually combat that personally? We'll start with Scooter this time.
I loved it. It was a guilt-free year off, so I could still train hard, but I didn't have to worry about competing or racing fast. Because with making the Worlds or Paralympics or Pan Pats, we have to go to trials in April or June, whenever they decide to have it. And you have to meet a certain time, and then obviously you got to go at the end of the year to race at the Worlds or Power, whatever it is, and then do a certain time again. So it was good in a way, but it was like a quiet year, but I could still hone in on my skills and train hard. I know a lot of people couldn't do much training at all, so I feel sorry for them. But me being up in Cairns, where the virus can't survive, I was very lucky. So I actually enjoyed it, and it was pretty much like having a year off, but without feeling bad of not missing out on anything.
Yeah, was it? I mean, I know that you say you're in a really good sort of mental space, which is great, but was there ever any doubt that maybe, you wouldn't be competing this year, and how did you kind of overcome those thoughts?
I think I'm not going to explain this, but I built up a lot of resilience after London, and then when I missed out on the team after Rio, I'm pretty much bulletproof at the moment. Like, everything happens for a reason, and what I learned mainly in London was to don't try to control what you can control, but the uncontrollable, let it go, because you're wasting your time. Focus on what you're doing and the process, and obviously if something gets delayed or it's not working out that year, go again, do it again next year. Just keep on going. And this wasn't my last Paralympics. I want to keep on going. So I definitely wasn't worried if it was on or off. I was just going to keep going to the next one.
And Lucky, what about you? How has the last 12 months, I guess, shaped your journey, and how did you kind of go through those sort of highs and lows of last year?
Yeah, definitely 2020 was a bit of a weird one for everyone. But I think, in a way, it was nice to kind of have another year to work on those strengths and those weaknesses and really hone in on those 1%ers, like Scoot was saying. But then again, it's really hard when you kind of training every day, pretty much all the time, like 52 weeks a year, 50 weeks a year, for this one massive special event every 4 years, and then all of a sudden to be told that it's not happening or it's going to be postponed is kind of challenging to deal with. Although even though with swimming every year we have a benchmark event, so there's always kind of something to look forward to. But yeah, the accumulation around the games being cancelled or postponed was kind of hard to deal with at first. But then again, I kind of just had to put things in perspective. Like, yes, this one swimming event may not be able to happen, but in the context of things in the world with this pandemic, people were losing their lives, losing families, their jobs, so much more than like what I was losing, just a big fancy swimming event. So I kind of had to just try and turn it around and things like that. But kind of in retrospect to Scoot, I don't deal well with change at all. I think my coach can adhere to that. I really try. I would like to say I'm a resilient person, but like I stress about things that like I shouldn't stress about, and like
That's
my coach is so
darling.
and that's why I love Scoot.
We overthink. That's why.
Because yeah, like I'm a person that likes to do things a certain way. I have to be there on time. I have to do things, you know, the way I want them to be done. And then when kind of that flips on you, it's really hard to deal with. And for so many years, I've been trying to deal with it. And I'm slowly getting better. Some days, if you see me, you're probably like, no, you haven't changed at all. But I have. And I think, you know, in the middle bit of like our lockdown last year, I think at the start I was really optimistic, like, yeah, okay, this is going to be cancelled, but it's okay, I've got more time. I'm just going to stick into training, do what I can at home. But I think once, you know, it got to a certain point where I wasn't able to swim for quite a long period of time, then my body kind of started shutting down. And then that's when I started mentally feeling it. And, you know, one day when like your toast burns and all your emotions just like pop out, and I was like, Mom, I can't do this anymore. Like, how am I going to keep going a whole nother year? Like, how long is this going to go for? And rah, rah, rah. And she was able to comfort me and then said, like, speak to your coach, speak to Harley, like, see what he's got to say. And that was really good to be able to talk to him and tell him how I'm feeling. And it's like, it's okay to feel like this. Like, you're only human. If you weren't feeling anything, it would probably be a bit more worrying. And was able to like give me some advice and just create a routine every day and stick to that, which helped me being a routine person, having something that I could check off every day as well as now being in quarantine. I've been following that as well to kind of help get me through and helped see the other side. And then again, as I alluded to earlier, it's just about getting creative and finding another solution. And if they went ahead, they went ahead. If they didn't, it didn't. As long as I was able to just kind of enjoy the process, enjoy the moment, and be thankful for what I had. And I still have a roof over my head. I still had my family around me. So just kind of had to focus on that.
Wonderful answer.
I heard, I'm sure you did too, Courts, is resilience.
Yeah.
And that was awesome because, you know, just what Grant was saying, the resilience from 2012, was London 2012? You know,
2012 and 2016.
whenever that was, hanging in there. And then lucky the resilience of last year, you know, when it was tough for you and you know, you burnt the toast and you lose it, but you hung in there and you got through. And resilience is something that's really important with mental health, because we encourage people to hang in there, right? Because no matter how tough you're doing it, you know, if you hang in there, you'll come out the other side, and obviously seek help or talk to people, or, you know, take that step forward to do what you've got to do. I've got to ask this question. Listen, you've gone, both of you, you've gone from this amazing event, you know, I'm sure, and particularly, and as you say, fancy swimming event, to lockdown. You've gone straight into hotel quarantine. Grant, what are you doing to keep yourself, I guess, going from so high to then coming back and then, you know, I guess it is what it is, being, I guess, having to quarantine. How are you coping?
I've become my own producer, actor and director in my hotel room. I'm making videos during the day, and I don't know if Courtney told you, but I'm a bit of a character, and that's just me when I'm back home. Yeah, I've been making a few movies and entertaining a few people.
Awesome.
I haven't actually made one today. So.
I actually,
right now, my friend.
I have to jump in there though. I think the question for Scooter though is, how is he helping others?
Yes.
Because I think he's got it together. He's totally fine, but he's thinking of ways of, you know, how can I actually engage with the community in quarantine? How can I support those around me? And how can I just make their day a little bit lighter? So the videos have brought all of us so much joy, Scooter.
Because I do have a lot of people messaging me saying that, this is what I look forward to, and I'm really depressed today, and it helped me. A whole heap of different random messages, and then I'm sitting there going, oh, geez, what about me? I just finished Tokyo, I'll have a breather, and here I am, got the pressure back on my shoulders trying to make movies. But, there's nothing else to do, and I'm someone who's always working. Like, back home, I work full-time, train full-time. I probably only sleep between 6 hours a night sort of thing. So I'm used to being always on the go, but coming into a room doing nothing, without doing something, I would go batty.
Yeah. What about you, Lucky? How are you coping? What's your strategies going from the joys of Tokyo to the joys of a quarantine room?
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a different shift being around people kind of 24/7 in a room together, like training together with this whole team, especially for a lot of us, and particularly a lot of the people from New South Wales and Victoria were away for such a long period of time, even before we as Queenslanders joined the rest of the team to move on. So many people have been kind of away for such a long time and kind of in each other's bubble, and to kind of all of a sudden now just be on our own in a room is very, very different. And like Scoot said, we're used to just being on the go, and I think Scoot is one of the most active people I know. He never sits still, and that's what we love about him. So like watching his videos is just like, the highlight of my day as well. No pressure, but has to continue. Yeah, so what I've been doing in quarantine is kind of the same, just trying to keep a routine like I did last year, working out where I can, adapting, doing things a little bit differently. And yeah, I've made a few kind of like video things here and there as well, and just trying to engage with the community. And I know I feel really blessed and fortunate right now to, yes, we're in quarantine, but we've got so much support from Paralympics Australia, and the hotel are looking after us really well. And I know that other people are in, different circumstances around the country, in different lockdowns, doing it really tough, may not have their jobs and stuff. So be able to connect with them and see how they're going as well, and let them know that they're not alone, and just being able to talk to them. And, if we can just, and receiving, really nice messages, like it was fantastic to watch you guys during the Paralympics. Like you showed us what spirit is, you helped us get through lockdown, and you guys are making our days as well. Like it's just really humbling and puts a smile on your face. And that's what it's all about, just engaging with people, letting people know that they're not alone, and just giving people a smile.
And what I'm hearing from both of those people is empathy, is seeing it from both sides. And well done, team. Courts, I've got 2 more questions, but did you have anything you wanted to ask?
No, you go first and I can jump in at the end.
Beautiful. And I'll get you to answer this question too, Courts. But hey, Grant, if you could get a message out to millions of people, if you had a billboard of your choice, what would that message be?
That message would be, how long can the message be?
Mate, your billboard, so it can be as long as you desire.
And what are we putting on that billboard? Just writing or pictures or?
Mate, we can do a video, we could do a picture, we could do text. It's the great thing about imagination is that it's your billboard.
I told Lee Sales the other night when I did the interview for ABC that by the end of my career, I would like to, I think I've said this to you before, inspire the younger generation to not spend so much time on social media and get out into the real world and make something from nothing, because nothing's really going to happen for them if they don't make the choice. And to let them know, what me and Lucky have done last week and what we continue to do week in, week out. and hopefully we showcase that off and inspire others to do a similar thing, not become an athlete or a Paralympic, but like to do whatever they're chasing, maybe an artist or a musician or, whatever they're thinking about doing. That's what I want to achieve by the end of my career, is to make a difference. A bit like what Steve Irwin did back in his day, make a change on conservation. And the way he went about it was awesome.
Yeah, leading by example. Crikey,
Yeah.
he was good.
Right.
Beautiful Lucky, if you had a billboard or you had an opportunity to get a message out to millions of people, what would that be?
Yeah, that's a tough question.
Fried chicken. Tell them about the fried chicken. We have it on our wedding night.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Fried chicken. Hey, I'm just plugging in the power. I'm running out of power.
Mate. I'm glad you brushed your teeth.
Oh, thank you. Tell them about the chicken when you won the gold medal.
I think he's alluding to my post-race interview, where I was like really tired. I gave the race absolutely everything I said. I could, and they asked me how I felt, and I was like, I feel more fried than a chook from KFC.
It was absolutely brilliant.
Let's go.
They're still waiting for my sponsorship.
It'll come.
All they gave me was a family box. Rubbish.
If I could put one thing on a billboard or give anybody any advice, it would just, I guess, be, work hard, dream big, make it happen. And, you're stronger than your strongest excuse. Anything can happen in this world, but, it's not going to just come to you like Scooter just said. And you've got to be willing to work for what you want, and anything is possible, really. It sounds really cliche, but as long as you're willing to work for it, you can achieve anything. And as long as you're able to kind of just be creative and open to suggestions, open to support, open to feedback, and you'll be surprised about what you can achieve or what you can do. And in terms of mental health, it's okay to not be okay. And there's so many people around you that do care about you. And I would just encourage everyone to not only check in with those around you, but also with yourself and see where you're at and what you need, and take some time for yourself. And that could be anything. It could be, having a nice bubble bath or a shower or a walk, but it could also just be staying in bed all day and, getting changed. Like, it's completely up to you. Self-care looks different for everyone. So just finding something that works for you, embrace it, and go from there. Take one day at a time.
Yeah, thank you for bringing up take time is a big message that we say at MAF, is taking time out for yourself, because if you can look after yourself, you can look after others. So thank you for bringing up. Courtney, if you could get a message out there, what would that be?
Both Scooter and Lucky have covered off what's really important to me. Lucky, you definitely nailed quite a few of my billboard messages. I guess if I had a couple of things to say, I truly would bring it back to, the mental health perspective. I think speaking up could not be more powerful. I think it's really important to speak up, and that means, checking in with yourself, taking time to check in and make sure that you are okay and what that is for you. Check in with others. So speak up, support each other around you. I think that is one of the most important messages that I could get out there. And the third that Lucky definitely touched on is dream big. I think if Lucky and Scooter have taught me anything, it's to dream big and, never doubt yourself. I think that doubting yourself can cause a lot of issues sort of mentally. So I think it's really important to dream big. And I think, definitely Lucky, Scooter, all the para athletes who are in Tokyo, I heard those words on repeat, and that really, really resonates with me. So speak up, support each other, take time, and dream big.
Yeah, well said. Actually, now, just to let you know, just to add on to the swimming theme, I just remembered, but I was vice captain in year 12 of the swimming squad, Morris College Ashgrove. So just so
Not bad.
I was a freestyler.
The best stroke.
Yeah, exactly. The breaststroke. Now, this is the hardest question of them all, and perhaps you may have to stew over it. But Grant, I'm just trying to think. What was last year? 2024. You're going to have a crack, son.
I told my coach that I penciled in 2032, and then I'll throw the towel.
Wow.
Because where's 2032?
In
Brisbane.
Brisbane.
Wow, yeah. That will be epic. So, sorry.
My wife will come on. Hopefully she'll be here with me.
Yeah. What about you, Lucky? Is it?
Yeah,
When
definitely.
is the
I think
next Olympics? Sorry, is it
Paris?
Paris.
Yeah,
2025
Paris.
or 2024.
2024 still. So 3 years away, I think, seems a bit more attainable.
I dream real big though. Are we dreaming big? Isn't that what this is about?
It certainly is, or it can be.
I'm joking. That's great. Well done.
You're going to have a crack, Lucky? You're going to have a go? Or you're going to just enjoy the moment for now and then make a decision?
Yeah, I think I definitely want to keep going as long as I'm still physically capable and mentally enjoying it. I'll go as long as I can. So that most of the time I'm just taking it one step at a time. With swimming, there's like a benchmark meet every year in the lead up to that. And I know that next year will be a busy year as well. So definitely that's definitely the goal and the dream. And if I could stick around to 2032 as well, that would be pretty exciting. So yeah, just taking it as it comes. And yeah, this dream definitely isn't over as long as I'm still here. So we'll see.
Well, just so you know, I live 1 kilometre from the Wollongabba Stadium. So if it does come 2032, party at my place, and you're all invited. Okay,
VIP treatment.
It's good. You're in, mate. I'm going to wrap this up, Courts. But was there anything you wanted to ask just before we get going, or?
No, the final thing I was going to ask, more for Lucky, just bringing it back to our beautiful event. Lucky's been, obviously, we've been privileged to have Lucky there the last few years. And if, I guess in just a little shortened way, if you could just kind of explain to everyone, what it is to be involved in Walk for Awareness and the kind of energy that is created on the day.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really special event to be a part of. And I think last year was a true testament to that as well. And especially last year and this year, having the options to be there in person and to do it virtually as well, like in your own suburb or whatever, is really special, just to kind of take time out for you. And you're surrounded by so many incredible people who share their stories, and it's just a really nice, humbling experience to be a part of, where everyone is supporting one another, and it's a no judgment zone. And just kind of the aura and the feeling that you get, especially like for me along the walk, every time I feel like I'm struggling or I'm really starting to get sore, I see the people walking around me. I see the courage that everyone has to, get there and push themselves past their perceived limits and to open up as well. It's really tough, and it is hard to speak up. So to be able to be there and to do that is really important, and to get that message across. And I think, sometimes there's unity in numbers, and having that awareness and the amount of people that are able to spread that is really vital and important. And the more people that can get that message out there, the better.
Beautiful, thank
100%.
you.
So from that, we please like and share this video if you are watching. And if you want to get involved with the walk, Sunday the 10th of October 2021, walkforawareness.org.au. You can actually join us in Brisbane, or guess what? You can walk anywhere in Australia or the world. We just encourage you, as Lucky said, to take time out, walk with us in the morning, and no matter where you are or in Brisbane, come and join us. And the thing is, it's a fun, safe event. Pets are welcome. it's wheelchair friendly too. It's everything friendly. We cater for everyone. Now, what I want to do, ladies and gentlemen, before we finish, we're going to share a strategy with you, which is going to actually cure anxiety, help with depression, and it's going to be a mood prover. So, Grant, what I want you to do, Lucky, what I want you to do, Courts, what I want you to do is put your hands in the air. Right, stretch them out.
Okay.
Right, there we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to give ourselves a big group hug, quarantine hug. That's it. Now we're going to move side to side and just imagine that we're just hugging each other and just saying love.
I'm imagining Lucky's here.
Oh, how good is that? That's what we want to spread. We're going to finish up, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to say goodbye now because once I hit that stop button, we're all going to disappear. But I just want to say thank you, all of you, you two, Courts, Lucky, Grant, for your time. Being able to interview or do this, I feel very, very privileged. But guys and girls, thank you for spreading the message of mental health awareness. It's a big thing for us. And what we're doing is we're showing our community that we care about them and that we want to show them love. So thank you very much. We will see you in October and enjoy the rest of the year. And congratulations to our medal winners and congratulations to Courts. Thank you for organising this.
Thank you.
So much.
Bye, everyone. Hooroo. I love it.